conceived of Cobra Kai, we knew we wanted it to feel like a continuation of the original Karate Kid.
The opening scene of our series is the 1984 tournament, the finals between Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence. How can we show that scene and show something else from it? Well, it was turning the camera on Johnny Lawrence.
Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that?
No, Sensei.
We've spent 34 years rooting for Daniel LaRusso and seeing the world through his eyes. For Cobra Kai to work as a series, we needed to get the audience to understand Johnny Lawrence in a bigger way.
I'm buying you out of my life.
I'd rather be homeless and take money from you.
And that first episode in particular is designed to make the audience see Johnny as an underdog.
Wait, is this the karate guy? The guy from the tournament?
Oh, this is the guy whose ass you kicked.
When you watch Cobra Kai and you see that first couple minutes of the show, you're seeing footage from the original movie, but you're seeing 17 or 18 shots that have never been seen before to give you a clearer sense of Johnny Lawrence's side. It's actually footage from the original movie that everyone's seen, combined with footage that we had dug up from the salt mines.
And there's some Sony executive that we had basically go into the cave with like a lantern.
This is what we're
A suit and a tie and a briefcase.
This is what we're imagining is what happened. That final shot that you see in that fight where Johnny is falling down to the mat, that was shot in 2018.
But the shot right before he falls down, it's that close-up shot of Johnny getting kicked in the face. Nobody had ever seen it, and the cool thing about that shot is it changes the perspective of the scene. The wide, triumphant angle where everybody's cheering, and with that close-up, now you're feeling the pain of that kick. And it suddenly twists things from triumph to defeat. But it was also the start of a downward spiral for a new protagonist in Cobra Kai.
Your guy, we're introduced to him, and I mean, this is right after this big tragedy happens to him, and we've got to follow along and just see how it goes with him.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a long time coming. I think getting to film was super exciting because in these 3 months you get to go through this really long arc, but the wait was definitely pretty painful, and knowing what happens in season 3, not even just with my character, but with everyone having to keep quiet, especially because I'm the worst with that stuff. Like I wish someone would just give me one of those Men in Black like little neuralizers after we film, so that I can forget everything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But it's a good problem to have,
Well, yeah, I mean, she doesn't initially want her son to follow the violent tracks of her, I guess his father or whatever. But yeah, I mean, she has to kind of let him go and do his thing and learn how to defend himself. But when I'm watching it, just as like me, I'm like, where's the sparring gear in the karate dojo? Like, you do not spar without sparring gear. I want to let the people out there know you don't do that in karate dojo.
I like the rehabilitation things that Billy Zabka was doing. He's really trying to figure out how to help you. They're not the usual, things.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a guy who's stuck in his ways, and I think getting to read the scripts and then film them, it makes so much sense. There's no one other than Johnny Lawrence to dangle magazines over my head,
Yeah.
But I will say, like, it really is, he's trying his hardest. So you kind of got to give him some props, but I think there's probably better ways to go about physical therapy.
Guys, I'm like, thank God Carmen did not see him light her son's shoe on fire. She would have like lit him on fire. I had to read that on this page. I was like, what? That's crazy.
And you do think about that because you've heard other people try that with other folks before. Think, okay, if I do this, you're going to move, and then it's all of a sudden it is like too late.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, like Vanessa, I mean, this of course had been a great franchise. Even going back to the '80s. What's it like now being a part of it? For yourself.
It's kind of like a mix of surreal and then also like, yeah, sure, this is happening. Like, I grew up with these movies. Like, I always imagine myself in them, but then it's like, wait a minute, no, I didn't. It's a mix of both, but it's certainly more than anything a blessing, and I feel really lucky. And it's just, you know, fortunately, meeting all these people who I did grow up seeing has not been a disappointment. It's just been actually better than I thought.
All right, that's great. Because like they always say, you know, sometimes it's not great to meet your heroes, but when you do and they're good, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Vanessa, Shello, thank you both very, very much for your time, and have a great new year, and look forward to seeing even more.
Thank you so much, Greg.
And I was going to say, it's got to be a great way to start out a new year with a show that people are just talking about like crazy. And I'll just start out with you, Mary. Here you are, your character in school, and they're always kind of like school fights and disagreements. Only bad part is everybody you know knows martial arts. So those fights just become really intense, don't they?
Exactly. I've thought about that. Like, you know, like everybody, I feel like, you know, with your siblings, with your close friends, you kind of like mess around with them or whatever. It's just like, imagine if you did that, but then they actually just like busted out some black belt karate moves. And I guess at that point you're like, all right, well, I got to level up. And it's like, at what point do we get to like, what degree of black belt do they get to before the school's like, all right, no more?
Right. We got to send everybody go someplace, any place.
Yeah.
And then Courtney, here you are. You're her mom. You're trying to, you know, make sure everything stays civil in school. But then you and your husband, you've got some problems going on with the business. And it's almost like everything's just dumping down right on you guys, isn't it?
The Roosters are having a rough year. We end up on top. The Roosters, we have a way of ending up on top, I think.
There you go. So as I say, I don't blame you guys for drinking whatever that was, that 50-year-old bourbon in one scene. It was like, yeah, right there with you. And then Mary, got to ask you, I mean, obviously, you know, acting it's a, you know, tough thing to do. What was tougher, the acting part or the physical part that you had to go through?
I have been very, very lucky enough to be acting for a decent amount of my life at this point. I have been acting since I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
So the acting, I felt not nearly as intimidated. Of course, intimidated because I'm acting in scenes with Ralph Macchio. And I'm like, that's a little terrifying. But like, you know, the nicest guy ever, but still intimidating as heck. But that one was a little less scary. I gotta say the physical was by far the way more intimidating part for me, because I am not a very physically coordinated or skilled person in any way, shape, or form. But the show has proven me wrong on that, I guess.
Hey, you were tough. No problem at all. See you walking down the street, I'll cross over. You know, no problem.
I'm pretty intimidating, right? Like if you saw me.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, like me, yes. And Courtney, just what you even mentioned, Ralph, and then also Billy. One of the things that I really liked was the way how they also, you know, intertwine like the video from the Karate Kid movies, you know, just to really kind of like tie it all together. I mean, I think that was just a great touch.
Yeah, my husband's a very big fan of the Karate Kid universe in general. So this job, I might as well have just won every Oscar on the planet. He's like, you hit the jackpot, babe. You're on the best show. And his favorite parts are the ones with the footage from the original movie. And I think it's good to bring back some reminders of things. You know, hardcore fans will definitely remember. My best friend, who's also a very hardcore fan of all the Cobra Kai universe, was just like, you don't have to tell me about the station wagon. Just show me the station wagon. I know the station wagon. There's a whole universe of people who do not know the station wagon. So I think it's nice how they tie it in. I think they do just enough.
And then also now, Mary, what's it like for you to, I mean, you've been with it since the start. What's it like for you to be a part of this franchise?
Pinch me every day. It's so cool. I definitely did not know fully what I was getting myself into, but at this point, there's no going back. I have dug my barbs in as deeply as I can. I have integrated myself into the Macchio family. I have a text conversation with his kids where we all just like send Cobra Kai memes. So it's definitely like larger than life and so cool and incredible, but also even cooler because it is real life for me right now. And I am very, very fortunate. I am very aware.
Oh, fantastic. Looking forward to just watching even more. Mary, Courtney, thank you both very much for your time, and take care and have a great new year.
You too.
Thank you. You too.
Right.
I wanted to stay at home. I wanted the baby to decide when she wanted to come.
My daughter came into this world. For the time that she did.
And I can't bring her back.
How's Detroit doing these days?
Oh, doing well. I mean, you know, considering everything that's going on, but it went from, as you know, very down to all of a sudden becoming very up. I mean, a place where people were beginning to come back for vacations and enjoy.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Absolutely. And this movie, when I say very gripping, an emotional kind of roller coaster, because even just starting out about your character, Vanessa, I mean, because of something that happens in the beginning, it just kind of puts her definitely down this rabbit hole of just, you know, things and feelings. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, it made me, I mean, I spoke to a lot of mothers who had been through this and tried to understand the very specific nature of feeling like, you know, of that kind of grief, really. And how a lot of them said it was like the loneliest journey because it's such an internal one in a way. If you think about it, a relationship they've had with their baby for 9 months and it, you know, and that happening. So yeah, I had to really understand that and navigate that journey, as well as her. In a way, the story for me has always been about her courage to not do what everyone else expects of her, and all these other things and elements are coming at her, needing her to be a certain way, wanting her to be a certain way, and she doesn't. She just goes on her journey, and at the end of it, she finds her voice. You know, she finds the ability to speak up about her experience. You know, and to find healing in that, or begin to, and do it only on her own time in her own way. And that was so inspiring to me, and taught me a lot actually about times that I feel, you know, in a not good place or anything difficult, as all humans, as we go through it together and on our own. So yeah.
Right. And I was going to say, and Ellen, you play her mom, and it's kind of like, of course the mother loves her, but it is like she's got her own way of doing things, like, hey, you know, get moving on this, which didn't translate, you know, to the daughter, at least with everything she was going through.
Yeah, well, you know, she's a person that grew up in very dire circumstances and learned how to thrive despite difficulties. And part of it is to speak up and say how it is for you and not keep everything bottled up inside. And that's what she's urging her daughter to do. And her daughter finally does do that. I don't know if it's from her mother's urging or if it was just finally the right time for her to come to terms with the reality she's dealing with that she finds so difficult to integrate into her reality. But I think she's a very strong woman from having survived what she survived from the beginning. And in a sense, imparts some of her strength to her daughter. Successfully, I think.
Right.
So it may have been a difficult relationship in that they're not really the same kind of person or have the same kind of experience. But I do think that she's able to take advantage of the strength that she has and infuse it somehow into her daughter, or give her daughter permission to give voice to her own strength.
Right. And I just have to say this in closing. I won't put this part in because it's at the end, but the scene when your character, Ellen, is going through what she's going through, you know, at the end, as far as the memory. And then there's the part where, Vanessa, you sit next to her and you grabbed your mother's hand. That took me back because my mother was going through that same situation. And that was the best thing to ever do, is just grab her hand. And then all of a sudden, whatever was going on, she would just smile. and just begin to have, you know, a much happier day. So that was something that really touched me. And, you know, thank you both for that. And thank you both for your time. Vanessa, great seeing you. And my fellow Motown person,
Greg.
fantastic.
Who cares about what they think? This is about me. This is about my life. This is me.
Between us.
That's the house up there, right on top of the stoop.
Do we really need that trunk?
If you're the police, where are your badges? Badges? We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Now, a romance that has thrilled millions. The marriage of beautiful Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio. And there's no surprise in the fact that it attracted a record crowd to the San Francisco court where the ceremony was performed.
Never tell a soldier that he does not know the cost of war.
After a lifetime of being the world's most famous enemies,
You can count on me like 1, 2, 3.
Tom and Jerry are about to start over
Cause that's what friends are supposed to do. Oh yeah.
in the big city.
This hotel has been host to 4 presidents, 3 popes, 2 kings, and we're about to host the wedding of the century.
Do you think you're qualified to take on this position?
I shine under pressure, like a diamond. Or Rihanna.
One other thing. We have a mouse problem.
With the what now? I'll catch it, sir.
Everybody gonna shine. I was born like this, don't even gotta try.
Oh, wow, this is so detailed. We could hire an exterminator, or we can leverage millions of years of predatory evolution.
If a picture of this mouse is tweeted out to Instabook Face or TikTok, we will be ruined.
No, sir, that's not gonna happen. That rodent is toast.
I will not let this hotel be ruined by a cat and a mouse.
He's dying on us.
I think I might have just pulled this off.
Really?
Blowing up the whole thing. Everybody in the bouncy house going bouncy, bouncy now. Bouncy now.
Life is a road, straight and narrow. Stay on the road, and it will take you safely home. But make a wrong turn, and you will meet the darkness.
Okay, okay.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
Good. How are
Greg,
you?
Greg,
Greg, what's going on,
have you
man?
moved since I've seen you last?
Nope, still great and exciting to see this movie. And Hillary, yeah, your character is definitely different than, you know, what we've seen you in a lot.
Especially from what we talked about the last time.
Yes.
I was going to Mars the last time. This time I'm going to hell.
yeah, obviously, we understand very quickly that, this was an independent film to begin with. And Hillary was the first person that I went to for the film. And I was able to set up a meeting with her, go see her, sit down with her. And within the first couple of minutes, I fell in love with her as a person. And
me too, with him.
And I pitched the project to her, and I told her that I just thought it would be great for her to take an adventure and do something completely different. Now, you have to remember, this is before The Hunt. So this is like, this is a new world for her. And I'm like, hey, and you can do this and you can do that. And I'm like, hey, man, all the black people love you too. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, we just had this great kinetic conversation. And she was like, that sounds really interesting. Next thing I know, we were, on set making this film. One time for Detroit, man. Detroit basketball.
Yeah! Love it.
Hey, what's up, Detroit? What you doing? It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too. With watching this movie, it was so funny. My wife and I watched it. And so immediately, you're thinking, okay, it's going to be a remake of Fatal Attraction.
Right?
No.
No. I hope we didn't have y'all arguing in front of the screen. I'm glad you said that though, because when you watch a trailer, oftentimes people just go to, oh, we've seen this before. This has been done already. And actually it hasn't. The premise is there, but the twists and turns takes you on a journey, a thrill ride, however you want to shake it out,
Again, good to see you. And this movie is, wow, it's kind of like you're thinking one thing, but it certainly does go in a whole completely different direction, wouldn't you say?
I mean, what's funny is when you try to tell people, they won't believe you.
Right.
I mean, because people sell movies all the time by saying it goes left. There's a twist. It's just not it's not what you think it is. And, I think once you spend about 20 minutes, you'll understand it's on a different level.
God, nothing's easy with you.
Two of the very best films from my Best of 2020 lists are available this week on various streaming services. First up is Pieces of a Woman, a stunning, powerful drama starring Vanessa Kirby, Shia LaBeouf, and Ellen Burstyn, which is now streaming on Netflix. The first half hour of the film is not for the weak of heart, and is maybe one of the most harrowing scenes in recent years. Truly, you might want to read more about this film before watching it, or it may haunt you forever. But the rest of the film beyond that first act is also extremely moving, mostly due to the performances of Vanessa Kirby and Ellen Burstyn. Pieces of a Woman might not be for everyone, but it is one of the best films of the 2020 movie calendar year, and I gave it an A-. The other not missed film this week is the documentary The Dissident, which is now available on VOD. It's a documentary about the heinous murder of the Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, and is actually the second documentary in the past year on this topic, following Showtime's Kingdom of Silence. The two films work fantastically together, with neither covering the same ground and both working to paint a full picture of what occurred and why everyone across the world should be outraged. The Dissident is the better of the two Khashoggi docs and contains some other very compelling insights, and it's really a movie that I hope everyone seeks out. The Dissident was my #1 documentary film of the 2020 movie year, and I gave it a solid A. Also seeing released this weekend is the thriller Fatale, starring Hilary Swank and Michael Ealy. It'll be on various VOD. For more detailed reviews of these and other movies, please check me out on Rotten Tomatoes. You can go to the site, search the critics list to find Tom Santilli, and you can scroll through all of my recent and not so recent reviews. Another good way to find my stuff is to follow me on Twitter @Tom Santilli, or go to the website movieshowplus.com.
everybody, Greg Russell here, and as you know, I love movies. Well, there's a brand new one out on Disney Plus called Godmothered. It stars Jillian Bell and Isla Fisher. Jillian plays a fairy godmother who's about to be furloughed, but she wants to do something nice for somebody before she goes. Now, Isla Fisher works as a producer at a local station in Boston. She's overwhelmed with a lot of work and a lot of other things. So Jillian's godmother wants to grant her a special wish. Well, you know, that's such a great story. We decided to do it ourselves. Joining me, here's Paula Fournier, who is a local television producer here in Detroit. Hi, Paula.
Hi.
And she's got a show on a local station here. Also has done several other things on television, as well as making movies. But one of the special things about Paula is that she's an instructor at Madonna University here in Metro Detroit. She teaches young people how to get into this business, all the proper things to do, and most importantly, she helps them meet people who can help them along in their career. So Paula, today, I'm your fairy godfather. You ready?
I am.
All right, because I've got a very special gift to give you. And here we go. Here's my magic wand. Your special gift for you. Now, we know your daughter, she's getting married next year. Also, today is your birthday. So this is kind of like a combination present. We're going to send you and your daughter for a special spa day at the Woodhouse Day Spa in downtown Detroit.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be wonderful.
Absolutely. You'll be able to go there, get all types of things, massages, facials, pedicures, manicures, all the different things that they have, and they are a great place to go. Also, I've got a proclamation here for you, which makes you an honorary fairy godmother. So you can go out and grant somebody's wish.
Oh, I'm going to have so much fun doing that.
I'll get you your own wand too. But thank you, Paula. Thank you for all you do. And don't forget, folks, check out the movie Godmothered. Fun time on Disney Plus.
Check out movieshowplus.com to watch this episode online and for exclusive content, extended interviews with Greg Russell, and a complete archive of movie reviews with Tom Santilli. Also, make sure to like and follow us on social media and on our Movie Show Plus YouTube channel.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.